Let's talk about criticism. Because for leaders, at least for many leaders, this is a kind of weak spot. Because many leaders, they cannot put their ego aside, and they do not take criticism easily. It needs some practice, and it needs to find out if that criticism is constructive or destructive, and how to handle it, how to make some changes. So when you are a leader, I know it's hard to get all the criticism, because you get a lot of criticism from everywhere. What you can do is just welcome criticism, just relax, welcome it, and put your ego aside. We cannot get rid of ego, probably ever. But we can put it aside temporarily and then come back to it. So just put your ego aside and welcome the criticism, welcome the critics to criticize you or your way of leadership, and then think about it. We have destructive and constructive criticism. First, let's talk about destructive and be done with it. Destructive criticism are against your values. Whatever is against your vision, your mission, your core values, not only your values but also your organization or your company's values, most likely, not always, most likely that is a destructive criticism. And then find out where is that come from. Who is the person or persons or company that send you that kind of critics? Usually it comes from the jealous-minded people. And you can find out. But don't make mistakes the constructive criticism with destructive criticism, because on destructive criticism, the purpose of that kind of criticism is to destroy you as a leader or your company, your organization, and put you out of business and put you down. But on the other side, the constructive criticism are aligned with your core values, with your company values, with your mission, your vision, and it helps you to move forward, to improve, to get better and better. And that kind of criticism comes from the friendly-minded people. Then how you can deal with it and what you should do when you get the constructive criticism, or every criticism, but you can differentiate. First, listen carefully. Practicing of being a good listener, it takes time. It's not easy, because we have not programmed from childhood to be a good listener. Usually when we get criticism, we defend. We put ourselves in kind of defensive mechanism. And there is a problem with putting aside our ego. So instead of listening carefully, usually we, or like our mind, goes after the answers, the reactions usually. be careful, do not react. Okay, when you get the criticism, go through this system. First, listen carefully. Put your ego aside and thank the person who is giving you criticism, destructive or constructive. Okay? You can make some of those enemies your friend later on when they understand you are such a great leader. Okay? So thank the person who is critiquing you, and then ask question. Through the question, first of all, you lead the field. You take the power, and you find out the purpose of that criticism, and if it's friendly or it is destructive. Then you find out how this person came to that kind of result to critique you, and ask for suggestion and recommendation. Because usually when the person send you or tell you about something wrong with your way of leadership, with your system, with your company, with your product, with your service, usually they have a suggestion also, even if they don't talk about it, even if they shy to talk about it. Just ask them, okay, I accept, thank you so much for giving me your feedback, for critiquing me or my company. What do you think? What are you suggesting, or what are you recommending to change these, to make it better, to correct this error? So it's very important that you go through this system, through this formula, and give them feedback. Sometimes maybe they are not clear on your vision or mission or your product or service, or the reason why you or your company or your organization was doing that. And if it's really constructive, then give them feedback. Even if it's destructive, give them feedback, and be bold. Don't be afraid of your competitors or your sometimes enemies. Sometimes they are not only competitors, they are really enemy. They want to just destroy you. Study about that criticism. Get around it. Talk to your teammates. Talk to the people who are in charge in that section or that part of the service or product, or see what went wrong, what happened. Do you really need to make some changes? So talk to your like-minded people. Talk to the other leaders and get help. When you study, then you find out, and the problem will be clearer or clearer, and you know what you can do about it. And if it's a legitimate criticism, then make some changes. Make the changes and send back the final feedback to that critic, to the person, and ask her or him to give you his or her feedback. This is the way you can handle criticism, and believe it or not, many of them actually are constructive. Even if they come from enemy, even if they come from your competition, but you can get a lesson, you can learn a lesson, you can get those kind of feedback and see what went wrong and how you can make changes, how you can correct it, how you can change the service, the way you're giving service, the product, or whatever it might be, the way of your leading the company or the organization. So it's very important how to listen, how to clarify things, how to study, how to get help, and how to give feedback and make the changes. If you have any question regarding this subject, you can make a comment in the comment box on YouTube, or you can fill out the form on my website, or just contact me directly through this email. When we talk one-on-one or through the workshops and coaching programs, I will go in detail and we study in depth about these kind of subjects, about your leadership style, about the criticism, about many things in leadership. So please feel free to reach out, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, The Leadership Impact. Be a legendary leader and leave your mark, leave your impact on your company, organization, your community, your society. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video.